to show the sequence of numbers, also to show how the numbers stay in a particular order or a sequence.
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be a good idea, like to actually give them a number line and then actual numbers on the card, and then have them like place them on the number line in a sequence that they believe works. And you know, like it's kind of fun because they're playing with the manipulatives, and then you know, they could probably work with partners too, and try to model each other.
No, yeah, definitely. So like I think that is one of the performance tests that might be listed in your box for you. Is that like just giving them like number tiles, like not in order, and having them actually place them in order so that they can see that like sequence, and that there is always a repeating sequence for it. So going back now, so we did it as though like we were a perfect student, right? Like this is how a perfect student would operate and think about when they're taking a look at this. Going back to questions 1 and 2, what potential things can students say and do instead?
So from experience, some kids can't recall the sequence in correct order. They maybe bounce around the numbers. So like 1, 2, 3, and then 7, and then 5. So they haven't internalized the correct sequence yet. Also skipping, like deleting numbers happens quite often. And then when they get stuck, then it becomes like no response.
Yeah, so I would definitely, so like this top part where here it says like questions and distractors, that's what we're talking about in distractors, and you practiced a little bit, like you presented your own distractors to the whole group and everything, but we do want to call them out here too, because now we kind of go through to see, is there any skill or knowledge that we didn't pick up on based on these distractors, or is there anything else we need to super call out because of these particular distractors? So how do you think we could pre-teach or like proactively teach these misconceptions?
One of the things, definitely modeling counting every day.
Yeah.
So like practicing until it becomes internalized. So having objects maybe on the board, or having manipulatives on their desk, and having them actually correspond one-to-one and counting to help them internalize the sequence correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, the counting of the objects actually comes in at a different standard, so I'll hold on to that. This one is like purely just like counting in sequence, so I like that you're like, we're just going to be counting every day and practice counting. So even over here, just making sure that like there is something like where students are practicing counting, like 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, so that they get that verbal practice, because if you notice, that question is also asked verbally. So they need that verbal practice of saying 1, 2, 3, and like imagining like